Hi, and welcome to another episode of All Things Considered. Today I'm going to be speaking to you again on the Second Amendment. And the reason I'm saying that this video is about the Second Amendment is because there is a movement brewing to overturn the entire Second Amendment. For one thing, I have a major problem with that, and it's not because I believe that the way people interpret the Second Amendment is the way it should be interpreted. I do not believe that. What I believe is that the Second Amendment, although it is majorly important, I believe that people have misinterpreted the Second Amendment for at least the last 100 years that I know of. And I understand you like guns, you want to own a gun. You want to be able to whip it out and show off your manhood. I get it. If you're a woman, you don't want to feel helpless. I get that too. But the Second Amendment should be updated. You should take the tired writing, the King's English, which is how it was written, in the King's English. Well, see, if you updated it and you wrote it the way it should be written, if you explain it the way it should be, and I'm gonna look something up real quick for you because I put this in a Facebook post a good while ago, and let me get to where my photos were at, and I'll find it. And what I'll do once I find it, I will tell you how it's written, and then I will explain to you, if you were to have written it today, this is how it would have been written. Okay. The thing is really giving me some problems here. Okay, here we go. We're in my albums now. Let me plug this in. My tablet is getting low on juice. Okay, here we go. It's probably in my timeline photos. Yes, it is. It would be in my timeline photos. Well, a while back I'd gotten into it with somebody over the Second Amendment. They said it meant that everybody has the right to bear arms and the government will not be able to take that away from us. And that is true. That is what the Founding Fathers meant when they put that up there. But America has taken something that was whole and they've split it into a couple of parts. Here we go. Okay. What I put on here was the Second Amendment, how it was written. And this is how it was written. A well-regulated militia, comma, being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, comma, shall not be infringed. Now, if you want, you're going to take all of that and you are going to break them into commas. There's 4 commas there, which means there's 4 parts. But this is the way I personally believe that it was supposed to be written. The right of the people to keep and bear arms, comma, shall not be infringed upon while in the membership of a well-regulated militia necessary to the security of a free state. You have 1 comma there. That's all you need, is 1 comma. Well, back when they wrote it, they understood it because that's the language they spoke. Well, we don't speak that kind of language today. A well-regulated militia, comma, being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, The right of the people to keep and bear arms, comma, shall not be infringed. When you read the way I wrote it, if that's exactly the way it was meant to be taken originally, the way I wrote it is the way it makes more sense. The rights of the people to keep and bear arms, comma, shall not be infringed upon while in the membership of a... Well, when you say shall not be infringed upon, comma, while in the membership of a well-regulated militia necessary to the security of a free state. So you can't put a comma in there. It has to say, shall not be infringed upon while in the membership of a well-regulated militia necessary to the security of a free state. Back then, they didn't have military like we have now. And for good reason. Because they didn't want the American people to be held hostage by the federal government. And the federal government can do that if they have the United States Army, United States Marines, Navy, and Air Force. Now, if the president decides to hold the American people in hostage, they can do that. But when we had a real well-regulated militia, which was every single citizen in every single city and town, they were part of the well-regulated militia. We could defend ourselves from the government. We can't do that now. We cannot do that now. And I don't know how many people that are citizens of the United States would want to defend themselves against the government, because we would be considered anti-American. Oh, that's just something you don't do. You don't do that. Why don't you do that? The Founding Fathers told us we should do that. The Second Amendment tells us we should do that. A well-regulated militia is not the state National Guard. That is something that can be overtaken by the federal government as well. A regulated militia made up by the citizenry of the state cannot be taken away by the federal government. If we have the right to bear arms while we're in the militia, the government can't tell us that we don't need guns anymore. It's okay, fellas, step down. How often do I have to speak on this before America gets the fucking point? There's times when I feel like I care more about this country than the average citizen. Why? Because it's not affecting you. It's not directly affecting you. When it directly affects you and your paycheck and your livelihood and your lifestyle, yeah, then you might get a little upset about it. But the federal government, and this guy that wrote this, he was a representative, a Republican, talking about this. Adam Kinzinger. He said, there is a political movement brewing in the United States to try and overturn the Second Amendment in its entirety and do away with a citizen's right to keep and bear arms. Well, if you get yourself a permit to carry, you've already given up your right to bear arms, because that permit can be taken away from you and you can go to jail. Like in California, Los Angeles, the only person that has the right to conceal carry is the chief of police. Anybody else that conceals and carries can go to jail. So much for your right to bear arms. Kissinger, who wrote a piece following the mass shootings in Dayton and El Paso, supporting red flag laws, said there is an inherent danger of political overshoot that could create a stream of unintended consequences, but claimed it would be better than doing nothing. It is unfair that you should deny somebody a right by putting a restriction in place because I own an AR 99.9, oh, because I own an AR .99.99. Oh. It says it's not right to put restriction in place because I own an AR. automatic rifle. A 99.99% of us responsible with these guns. But as a society, we can't predict individual behavior, he said on the Daily Briefing Wednesday. Kinzinger said we have to make societal differences and changes. Attitudes are turning so much against the Second Amendment that the thing that we risk is that there will be a serious movement to not just create restrictions, but to overturn the whole amendment. Now, by the way, your freedom of religion is protected by the First Amendment. If we begin to start to repeal Bill of Rights, who knows where the whole thing goes? Well, they've been chipping at our rights forever. The Ninth Amendment is supposed to protect rights retained by the citizens, but the federal government and judges on a daily basis, they take away your rights. How do you know what your right is? The Ninth Amendment says that our rights that are not written down in the Bill of Rights are still protected. But how do we know what those rights are? Just because you say it's a right, does that make it a right? I believe that people have the right, and when you say that, see, that's a slang term now. When you say I have the right to breathe, well, that's kind of covered under life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. You have the right to stay alive. But when you say that it's my right, like people that smoke, oh, it's my right. No, that's a slang. That's not really a right, is it? Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it is a right. Maybe they have the right to pollute their lungs and mine too. Maybe that is their right as an American citizen to take their rights and put my rights in jeopardy. Maybe that is their right. Maybe it is protected by the Ninth Amendment. Maybe it is a right retained by the people. Well, my right to free travel under life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness should be covered by the Ninth Amendment, but they say it isn't because the states figured out how to make money off of the driver's licenses. They have taken a slang term such as driver, which, oh, I'm going to drive to the store, or oh, I'm going to get in my car and jog to the store. So how are you going to get in your car and also run? Do you own a Flintstones car? Where it's powered by foot power? That's the only thing I can think of. If you're going to get in your car and jog to the store, I'm going to make a run to the store. I'm going to make a store run. Yeah, okay. Well, our Ninth Amendment is supposed to protect our rights, but we're not. We're not standing up for ourselves anymore. I believe that the federal government is going to take away everything we have, and we're going to be okay with it. Why? Because the Declaration of Independence tells us that we are. The Declaration of Independence says that we the people, we are more disposed to suffer. We are more disposed to suffer and according all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. We will just put up with it because it's all we know. And we're too scared to go against the norm. They're coming for it. Today it's the Second Amendment. Tomorrow is the First Amendment. Then the Third, and the Fourth, and the Fifth. And so on and so forth, to where we don't have any rights because our government says we'll be better for it. And like good citizens that don't want to be un-American, we will allow it to happen because we don't know anything else. We are a herd of elephants running toward a sack of peanuts. Let me know what you think about this. How do you see the Second Amendment? Is it one whole amendment, or is it broken up into two parts? Part A doesn't exist anymore. Part B is still in existence. How do you see it? What do you think? Put a comment below. Let me know how you feel on the matter. Is this important to you? If it is, let me know why. If you don't think it's important at all, please put a comment and tell me why you don't think it's important. I don't care if you like guns or you don't like guns. You collect guns or you don't collect guns. Let me know what you think. I can't do this alone. We the people, you and I, need to figure this thing out so we can save America's future and make it a brighter tomorrow. All we can do is fix the second that we're in. That's all we can do. Fix the second we're in. And as we're fixing that second, we can think about how we're going to fix tomorrow. But we got to at least start in the second we're in. We've got to start fixing today's problems in the second we're experiencing those problems. We will worry about tomorrow after we get this second taken care of. If you like my videos, please put a like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up if you like it. Hit the thumbs down if you don't like it, but do something. Hit the bell, subscribe. This is how I can stay on here. I know, I've done a lot of videos and I don't get a lot of people viewing them. But that doesn't mean I don't believe in what I'm doing. I wish more people believed in what I was doing. But maybe my videos are a little out there. If you have a way to maybe make my videos better, let me know. If you got an idea for a video, let me know that too. I'd love to talk to you about it. This is how we get things done. We come together as a people. And we worry about stuff. And we talk about stuff. And we try to fix it. This has been All Things Considered. Have a good afternoon, everybody. America and all points beyond.